In the work that you do, you work with organizations, you work with men, you work with people from a range of areas, and it sounds quite emotive work. It sounds hard work. How do you manage to stay focused and positive and productive, and sort of like keep going? Because sometimes when you're talking about these sort of concepts and how things should be as opposed to how they are, it can get a bit demoralizing. Going back to the conversation I had with my friends, is that sometimes you think, oh no, so how do you keep yourself going and focused?
Well, it can be hard work, but it can also be really joyous work. And I often see that my role in the world is actually bringing joy to people. Okay, I mean, I know that not everybody goes, "Oh, here comes the guy from the joy," the guy brings the joy,
Well, that'd be great.
wouldn't that be lovely?
Yes.
But I think that's important, right? I think it's important to remember that that social justice is really about spreading, partly about spreading joy, right? Because if we can have justice, then more people will be able to embrace joy in a different way, right? Um, and that might sound glossy, but I actually think that's what it's true, and that doesn't mean it's not also about all those other things we talked about, but I think that's a part of it. So I think part of it's about a mindset, and it doesn't mean that's I don't. This doesn't mean that I'm not like halfway through a 4-day session sometimes going, oh my God, this is so hard, and that person is such a jerk, and blah 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 blah, and then I have to pull back and say, well, wait a minute, are they a jerk? It's like your lights just changed
My
there.
lights just went out, and I'm
Yeah.
not going. I'm not going to do anything about it because we're in the middle of a podcast.
All right. Um, and and then I have to like also, okay, why is that person? Why do I think that person's being a jerk, and how am I going to continue to connect with that person? Right? Because I think that's a part of it. Is this is also about connection. Um, and And the question, I think your question, if I remember, because I'm just blabbing away here, is also about self-care.
Yeah. How do you care for yourself, though, Tom?
Well, I think that, part of it is, um, like I said, having whatever the perspective is, having colleagues that I really love to work with,
Yeah.
but also making sure I get outside and get fresh air. I mean, for me, that's actually an article. Was it in the Washington Post or the New York Times this past week about um, a something in the Netherlands where they talk about being out in the wind.
Yeah.
Uh,
I love that. That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah, and absolutely, I love it too. Like I'm outside. I mean, it was the other day. It was I think 10 degrees Fahrenheit here, which is I don't know what that is Celsius because in the U.S. we don't believe in things that are
Yeah.
visible by.
Yes.
We're
Yeah.
too easy to figure that out, right?
Yeah.
But that's well below zero. I know
Yeah.
that. Um, and and I could do the math. I remember there's some formula I learned in high school, but
Damn it.
it's minus 32 plus 5/9 or something. I can't remember. Anyhow, so um, and it was great. I mean, I dressed warmly enough, and I go out there, and and I just take a nice hike in the woods with my dog, not worried about anything coming along. I mean, I worry that maybe I might, fall and hurt myself and not be able to and freeze to death. That's a different kind of fear, you
Yeah.
know. But so things like that, trying to move my body, trying to stretch, trying to exercise. In the summertime, I like to garden. You know,
Yeah. That sounds
uh,
good. It
yeah, I
sounds
mean, like
good.
like finding things that again bring you joy or happiness, or that you can engage both in the body and the mind as well. Are critical. I think one of the things that's been challenging for a lot of us over the last couple of years is connecting with other people.
Yeah, definitely.
And
Definitely.
I mean, I have one of my best friends lives in the area, and we try to go for a walk in the woods once or twice a month. You know, and it was interesting when the pandemic first was going on. We were like walking in the woods and having to stay 6 feet apart from each other, and
I know.
that kind of thing. And now that we've both been vaccinated and boosted, and which doesn't mean we don't have any concerns, but we also feel like, oh, we're outside and it's probably a little bit easier. So I think that's part of it. I mean, I think that's part of just trying to find the places, trying to find that balance also, of living life in ways that just bring rejuvenation.